Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the March 7th edition of the Courtside with Coach Crist show. I'm Greg Crist. That is Dave Gorby. We are at McGuffin's Mystery Hole out here on Gatewood Road tonight, bringing you the Courtside show from the studio. And Gorb, good to see you again. Like I said last week, we're trying to get back in shape here, doing our shows on a regular basis. So that's just 2 weeks in a row. We're doing good so far.
Spring training, you know.
That's right.
Yeah, spring training. So.
Like you said, we got to get whipped into shape.
Yeah,
and,
get our reps up.
That's right. Get our reps going. And we had a good show last week with Cliff Hill. Almost forgot his name.
I get the reps up, you know.
Talking about the NIL and scholarship money. That was interesting stuff. In the future, we're going to have some more of that. And we're going to have some talk about the Big Ten SEC power moves that they're putting on right now. But before we do anything else, what we always like to do at the beginning of the show is go out to our One Eye in the Sky, our NRN Chopper 1, and the weather and traffic forecast and update from Mr. Muggy McLeod. Hello, Muggy McLeod. Are you out there somewhere?
Good evening, Coach.
Hey.
This is Muggy McLeod and Misty Rains with your One Eye in the Sky NRN Chopper 1 traffic and weather report. So, Misty and I are flying over the big island of Honolulu.
Ooh.
No, wait. My discombobulator gauge is buzzing. That actually says that we're in, we're over the little island of Wheeling, West Virginia.
Oh, okay. Out there on the
My
island.
bad. I can see where the mistake could be easily made.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We're flying over Wheeling, West Virginia in search of intelligent life void of flags in the back of trucks and weapons of mass destruction.
Not going to find any of it there.
Okay, actually, we are in town keeping a close watch on the Reed Amos show, or as others call it, the MEAC basketball tournament, at that big bank arena. With hateful disposition, I refuse to say the name of that arena, whose naming rights were purchased off the backs of hard-working everyday Joes like me, charging $4 at the ATM for fees.
Yes.
So,
And then Reed Amos charging $14 at the gate for a basketball game.
Yes, sir, indeed. That's why we're flying over and not flying in.
That's right. That's right.
I'd hate to see what a glizzy costs.
It'd be rough. Well,
Yes,
I'm
it
guessing they have to jack the prices since they'll have 27 people showing up. So,
Well, it has been a little thin. Thin like Mr. Gorby's hair.
Yep.
That would be bad. Anyway, okay, Coach, as we fly over the island, over the casino and dog track, it's fairly busy on a Thursday night. I hear it's because instead of greyhound racing tonight, some of the locals are carrying wiener dogs to take over the main event.
huh.
And as I look down on the track, I believe I'm picking, number 7, Old Limpy Dinky.
Yeah.
Not because of the name, but because he just took a big old poop as he loaded into the gate.
They say that's a clue.
Should be the light heading around the track.
Yep.
He should win by head. Okay, Coach. As we circle toward the arena, we pass Godfather's Gentlemen's Club. Once again, my favorite place to fly over. It's the Godfather's Gentlemen's Club and Italian restaurant. And speaking of that, Coach, I ran into a friend of a friend who will, to protect the identity of the innocent, we will call Danny Gorby. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Danny, and he said he was there in that lovely establishment about a week ago, and there was a professional dancer there who had been in a wood chipper accident and lost a leg.
Oh, no.
Yes. So when she danced around the pole, it kind of looked like a tilt-a-whirl.
Yeah. Huh.
And unfortunately, she kept sliding off of the pole and landing in the crowd. It was, according to witnesses, it was a terrifying event. And but you know, on the hindsight, the young professional dancer made a lot of extra money from the unintentional lap dances.
Right. Yeah.
So if you want to go witness this incredible event, I believe her name is I think her stage name is. Any guesses?
Hop along.
Eileen Over. And I tell you, Coach, she's a trip.
A trip. Yeah.
Okay, Coach.
I heard she tried swimming, but she just went around in circles all the time.
That's right.
All right, Eileen. What was her last name?
Over.
Eileen Over.
Okay, Coach. On to the weather, brought to you by Godfathers, where by mentioning this ad, you will get an extra shot of water in every drink and a free taco.
Oh,
Tonight's
nice.
weather is back to crappy, cold, and rainy, and the weekend is going to be worse. So if you're out there putting up political signs on private property illegally, you better bundle up.
Stay warm at least.
Yes, sir, Coach. All right, this has been another great evening calling in, and I want to wish everyone a happy weekend. This has been Muggy McLeod and my sidekick, get it, Misty Rains, who maybe makes some extra bucks in her spare time over there with old Eileen. And this has been your one eye in the sky, NRN Chopper One Traffic and Weather Report.
All right.
Over and out, Coach.
All right, over, Eileen. All right, that's Muggy McLeod out there flying around wheeling. Muggy on fire tonight, man. Eileen over.
Yeah, I heard it.
Oh, Eileen, hadn't heard that one before. Muggy always likes to try to, he has a little humor with his forecast and his traffic updates, so we appreciate that. But he does take some jabs at people. The MEC, West Banco, he was very upset the other day. I saw him. I was talking to him on the phone. We was talking about our reports and reviewing the show, and he stopped by West Banco Bank to get some money out of the ATM. They charged him $4. He wasn't real happy about that $4 fee. So that's why his dig was on the Banco Arena tonight.
I heard it. Yeah.
He wouldn't say the name. And then we look at the ticket prices for the MEC tournament.
Yeah,
$14 a session, and I'm thinking that's 2 games. I mean, I know.
I was just about to ask how many games in a session. So.
I know it's only $7 a game, but really, $14 to. I mean, you have no rooting interest. I did in Wheeling, but the games are live streamed, so I watched it on the live stream.
Yeah.
I was 10 minutes from there, but I watched the live stream. They got beaten overtime, by the way, so I'm glad I didn't spend my money.
There you go, yeah.
We also been running a new segment on here called Hell Yeah and Hell No. I don't know if you're prepared for that tonight. You certainly wasn't last week. But, as always, I am prepared, and I do have my Hell Yeahs and my Hell No's. And we'll discuss each one as we go through. My first Hell Yeah is for, and this is going to contribute to the show later, but Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark, the girls basketball player from Iowa University who set the NCAA scoring record this week. We give her a Hell Yeah. We'll have her third cousin, I think, once removed on her grandmother's side later on the show. Her name's Charlene.
Wow.
Charlene Clark going to be on with us. So we'll talk to her in just a little bit. But hats off to Caitlin Clark. I am sick and tired of hearing about it on the radio. I drive 2.5 hours to Morgantown every week. I drive home 2.5 hours from Morgantown every week. I drive an hour and 15 minutes each way to work each morning while I'm up there in Morgantown. And I have to listen, I listen to ESPN, Mad Dog Radio, and I'm tired of hearing about Caitlin Clark and her scoring record. And I keep hearing all this talk from these guys and about how it's going to change women's basketball. It's going to it's getting more exciting than men's basketball. Blah 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 blah. And I'm thinking, you guys, I understand what you're doing, but it ain't gonna work. You can build it up and puff it up all you want, and I don't mean this to sound like the grumpy old man or the sexist old man. Women's sports. A lot of them, softball, you can't beat that. College softball, that's some good stuff there. High school softball is good. And not to be sexist, but, women physically just aren't able to do the same things that men do. On a basketball court, they can't jump like that. They're not as quick, et cetera, et cetera. And that's not being demeaning to anybody. It's just a fact. And when people watch, I think, they're used to watching the men and how good they are and the things that they do. And these ladies are really good. Yeah. It's just not the same level. And I think people are turned off because of that. So they don't watch, And I don't think, I think even as good as she is, and she's a baller, she can shoot, she can pass. Yeah. She passes as well as she shoots. She can play. But when she gets in the WNBA, are people going to watch? And I keep saying, I don't think they are, because it's just not exciting enough for people to watch. And it's not taking anything away from them. That's just a fact. I mean, they get who's going to watch now. It may jump a little bit, not much, I don't think. But again, girls are extremely talented and very, very good. And but I just hate the comparisons. They were comparing her to Pistol Pete and all that. It's two different things, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just totally two different things. And I even heard one of the women coaches say that. So you can't compare the two because it's not. You're comparing apples and oranges again. And but anyway, but you do want to give her credit for what she accomplished. So hats off to her.
Right.
So that's one of my hell yes.
Okay, good deal, Coach.
And I know I don't know what you think about it, but that's just the way I feel. I don't think it's going to be a big transitional phase in the women's game.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't really watch WNBA. I have paid attention. I pay attention the women's college game a little bit. Not that I'm like
right.
but it's a big feat.
Yeah.
But you're right. You're kind of saying just being able to go up and dunk the basketball, and it takes somebody like Candace Parker being 6'6" to kind of go up there and grab the rim, which that's some pretty good athleticism for her. But to see what Mac McClung did in the slam dunk contest, and he's like 5'11".
Right. And I was going to say you'd be hard pressed in the NBA to find a player that couldn't dunk the basketball. Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, even the 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot guys can dunk it. So it's just a different game, and it's a different. It's just a different animal.
But she can shoot the ball.
Oh yeah, she can stroke it. She shoot the lights out. And like I said, she probably passes better than she shoots. I mean, she's a great passer. The players that she passes to don't always catch it. But and then I've heard this argument too about, well, today it's more exciting in the girls' game because we know about Caitlin Clark and we know about. And they named 2 or 3 people, and I'm thinking, I've never heard of those other people. And no, and they said you can't name anybody in the men's college basketball. You don't know any of the players. And I'm thinking, well, one of the reasons is, first of all, the women's players stay for 4 years typically, 3 to 4. A good basketball player in the NCAA, if he's really really good, he's there for 6 months and he's gone.
Right.
So you don't learn their names. However, everybody on the men's NCAA teams are good, so you don't recognize the names for being above and beyond because they're not so far above and beyond because all of them are good. In the women's game, you got 1 or 2 good players, and that's it.
I was going to go back to that All-Star weekend, like just shooting the ball. Obviously you've heard them talk about the Steph versus Sabrina thing.
Yeah.
Do you think that'd be good? Do you think that's good, or
no?
You don't think that's good?
I don't see the point in that because again, I think it's 2 different animals. We're using different size balls, and I don't think it proves anything. I don't think it proves. I don't think it even proves that Steph's a better shooter than she is. Now, if they go out there and shoot from 18 different spots and use the same ball and shoot 300 shots and he makes 100 more than she does, then I'd say okay, he's a better shooter. I don't know what that proves. I don't know what that matters because again, it's 2 different animals and I just don't. There's just no comparison. I don't know how you compare that. I may be looking at it wrong, but that's just the way I feel. And I get really tired of hearing all this stuff, and they just go on bloviating and talking about how it's going to transition and change the game forever and blah blah blah. And I don't think it is. I think college wise the the attendance is up and viewership is up, but will that sustain without her? I think a lot of people were watching just to watch her, and I don't know that it'll sustain. I don't know, but I just wish they quit talking about it.
I got you.
Talk about something else. I'm tired of hearing it. Anyway, my other hell yeah, a lot of people probably will disagree with me on this one as well as they did on Caitlin Clark. Neil Brown signed a new contract, an extension. And I was like, you know what?
Go ahead.
To me, it was a good thing for both sides. I mean, he gave some ground, he gave up some money.
Well, everybody was thinking, they heard extension. They're like, oh God, it's through, it's through 30, and it's really just to add 1 more year, but take less off, and basically 25% of it. Right. And it's to go to his assistant coaches, and
which I think is awesome. And we talked about this a little
basically
bit.
You said it helps both sides.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about this on my other show last night on our Mountaineer Locker Room show. To me, I said it shows that Neil Brown is, going to. It helps because it shows the players, hey, I'm willing to give up something to stay here. I gave up $400,000 to stay here. I'm committed to this. Or hopefully you are too. So maybe the players can see that he is committed, and that'll make a difference in some of them staying or going. I also think, the school obviously benefits from it because now they can give the assistant coaches, much needed pay raises, and it doesn't affect the school any.
Are they still? I was kind of looking. Is our assistant coach pool still like the lowest paid in the Big 12?
Last time I looked, it was yes. Yeah, and it shouldn't be that way
No.
because we have some of the best attended games with all the bowl games everybody's
Facilities
in.
are top notch.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that way. So hopefully, and you see all the coaches that's been there. Don Nealon did the same thing. I remember when he was there, took less money so his assistant coaches could have pay. And I always said, the people don't understand the importance of these assistant coaches. When you get good ones, how you want to keep them. And those guys become head coaches because they're so good. So you want to keep them in the program. Again, that's that consistency and commitment to the program. And I think the way they did this and the way he did it and the way he handled it, I think helped everybody. And gives him another year and lessened his buyout, but it lessened his payback as well. So I think it helped everybody.
Yep.
So I give a big hell yeah to that.
There you go.
All right, on my hell no's. My first hell no. Last night was senior night in Morgantown at the boys' basketball game. And who else was there but that estranged girlfriend lurking around in the background that just won't go away? Bob Huggins had to make an appearance last night. I know everybody said, well, that's what the players wanted, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just like, dude, give it up already. I mean, come on, enough is enough. And I think that's a big hell no on Hugs. I think he should not be doing that. I think he should stay away. And whether he's getting a job back or not, which I personally think that is not going to happen, he needs to just right off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Don't tarnish your legacy anymore. It's already tarnished enough. Move on out. The other hell no, and I don't know what you think about Huggins. If you want to comment, I'll shut up.
I was gonna say, who do you think Wren has at the top of his list? Hey, I guess he kind of just told Missouri.
Yep.
No go. I haven't really heard much out of Missouri.
Hadn't
AD.
heard anything else about it.
But obviously, I think he wants to see this thing through because it's kind of his.
I think
big project right now.
I personally think it's going to be the coach at James Madison.
Well, there's been links, and it's just not us saying it, but we've obviously heard it from people. We've seen it online, and it's not the sports agency. It's whoever that he represents or something like it's the coaching search and him. They're all linked together.
Right.
Like it's like. And they were in Morgantown like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and people don't know this. I learned this last night. I didn't really know it either. Wren Baker is extremely involved in NCAA basketball.
He's a basketball guy.
Yeah, he's a basketball guy through and through. And on the committee there, one of the committees that selects for us, I forget what they said, but a lot of important roles he plays in it. And he knows the basketball game, and he's picked a good girls coach. So I'm sure he's got his man. But I have heard. And I talked to my son today. Me and him were talking about it, and he said he had heard the same thing, and he gave this guy's background and his progression at James Madison, how he started off, and has built that program up. And he said he's really a good coach and would really do a good job. So I'm excited about that. I don't know. I know a lot of people will be complaining and fussing about it and saying, "Oh, you need to get this big name or whatever." But hey, you know what? You get somebody that's good, they become a big name.
Exactly. Well, I remember last time we went to the state of Virginia and got a basketball coach.
Yep.
We'll see how that turned out.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, he was at Richmond.
Yeah.
Not Richmond, but Richmond.
Richmond, yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yep. And so, we'll see what happens. Should be good. I'm excited. The other hell no, real quickly, and this kind of touched the vein with me, but in New Jersey, there was a high school basketball game that ended in controversy. One team made a shot before the buzzer went off. The officials called it good. After conferring, one of the officials said they felt like that it didn't leave his hand in time. So after conferring and talking about it, they changed their call, and they wiped out the basket, and that team lost. And it was a state semifinals, and they showed it on a replay, and it was clearly half a second. I think it was 0.6 when it left his hand, so it was clearly good. You could watch the replay and listen for the horn to go off, clearly good.
Yeah.
And then the state of New Jersey, their athletic commission came out today and said the officials blew it. They apologized to the other team. There definitely was a mistake, and we're sorry. Sorry about your luck.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, just say the other team, they won. I mean,
Yeah.
well, how hard is that?
Yeah.
Do what's right. That team won the game. Do
Yeah.
what's right. And but they said that team had appealed the decision of the game, and that had been denied. So I don't guess anything's going to happen other than the apology. Sorry, we got it wrong. You're out of luck. I thought, how disappointing for those
That's
kids,
crazy.
to be in a state
why
championship.
would you even give them an apology?
Right. Why even say anything? Just say, it's part of the game. Officiating's part of the game. Just move on.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you can clearly see it was good. And I'm thinking, if you see it's good, it's good, why not just even if they say, well, we don't use replay. Well, you should. I mean, it clearly shows that they got the call wrong. And they called it right to start with, and then they changed it. I'm like, come on, man. What did you base that on? What did you base changing it on? When if I'm the guy that called it good, I'm like, there's no way I'm changing that.
Yeah.
That was good.
Right.
So what's he doing? So, but anyway, that was one of my big hell nose. I was like, you got to be kidding me. That was terrible. But and officiating is part of the game. I get that, and there are going to be mistakes. I get that. But when you can clearly see that a mistake has been made that affects the total outcome of the game and keeps a team from getting to the state championship, you need to fix it. Fix it.
Right.
Just get it right. So anyway, that's my rants for tonight. What about yours?
Hell yeah. Let's go with the NFL. The combine just wrapped up.
Yep.
Now you had a deadline to get players signed before free agency starts next week. So I mean, it's starting to really get ramped up. And the good news, the Bears extended the top cornerback.
Yes, they did.
In the NFL just a couple hours ago, Jalen Johnson. That's the first key piece they needed to do this offseason, especially before the draft happens. And that's still going to be an exciting thing, and I might have a hell no on that too. I don't know.
Yeah, I heard today where they paid him a good bit of money too.
Yeah, he's going to be the top cornerback paid, but I mean he's he's pretty damn good.
Yeah, he is good. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
because on that franchise tag, you're still getting that money, but you can still hold out.
Right. So what do you think? You're a Bears man. You follow them. What do you think you're going to do with Fields?
So that was kind of my hell no.
Okay.
All these quarterbacks, going in the combine, everybody was talking about Williams, May, and Daniels, even though I think Daniels is kind of passed May up. But then all these other quarterbacks, Bo Nix had a real good workout. J.J. McCartney had a real good workout. And now Russell Wilson got cut, so he won't be getting paid like he used to get paid. Right, so he'll be on small. So the trade market has shrinked.
Yep, sure has.
And just a few years ago, a guy like Sam Darnold, you got a second, a fourth, and a sixth round pick for Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
And if it's Justin Fields, you may not even get that for Justin Fields.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yep. We were listening to that talk today,
and that was my hell no. The trade, the value's gone down for waiting.
Yeah,
instead of trying to be getting out after a little bit, and they've kind of gotten out after, but that's the. Even though I said Jalen Johnson was a big priority, that was probably the more biggest priority to figure out what you're going to do on quarterback. But maybe you keep Fields now and you trade that number one for the Hall.
Well, I was thinking that. I was thinking, first of all, Fields is not that bad. I mean, I don't think he's nearly what they built him up to be, but I think he can be decent,
Well, they already went out and got a center, and he didn't cost, he only cost he cost a fifth-round draft pick, and he only cost $3 million against the cap. And the cap went up $40 million.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not really that big of a hit.
Yep.
So they're already helping there. You know what I'm saying? They're already helping on the line. They gotta get more. They gotta get more weapons.
Right.
They gotta get more weapons.
Yeah, I said why not take that number one pick and trade it? Like I said, you could get a haul for that, and you could probably get you a decent quarterback a little lower down. With the picks you're going to get for him. I mean, for that number 1 pick, they could get a bunch of picks, and
absolutely,
and really, they could find them a quarterback in there, I think. And I don't know that. I mean, I watch these guys and they build them up so much, and all these guys talk about how great they are and how they're, they're not can't miss prospects and all this, and then they get in the NFL and you're like, he's okay,
Right.
And you heard the same talk a few years ago about Trevor Lawrence, and not that he's a bad quarterback, because he's not, but he's not great by any means, and he was a can't miss guy, and he's turned out to be maybe slightly above average, and I'm not so sure about Caleb Williams.
The funny thing is that of course he's the one that's so far up, and he didn't throw there.
Yep.
He had I guess he interviewed a little bit there, but he didn't work out, and then he denied the medical records. He's the first player ever to deny medical record because he don't want he wants to keep his stock all the way up, and I think the Bears wanted to bring him in real quick so they can, and he's already said no, you can't talk to me till after the pro day at USC or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And if you're sitting there and you're the owner there at the Bears or whoever's in control of that. I'm going to start having my doubts right then.
I know. And Justin Fields, everybody was like, he took everything off social media because he was tired. He was like, listen, I'm going down somewhere near the equator, and I don't want to deal with this right now.
I don't want to be bothered with it right now, and I don't blame him.
No.
And like I said, I'm not so sure he's not going to be a pretty good quarterback.
I think he'd be fine. I think that you just got, like you said, you got, and I think the line got better. It became average this year. It used to be we were one of the worst in the league, and then we're about midway. That's getting better. That's getting better. You can't get all the way on one jump. So and then I think they got to get some playmakers around them.
Yeah, so. I like that kind of reminds me. Joke heard one time. This guy said, "Bears remind me of this. Smith, you're getting better." Well, how do you know Smith's getting better, Coach? Well, last week he lost the game for us. This week he was the total non-factor.
Oh, man.
That's the way the Bears' offensive line is.
Right, yeah, exactly.
But you know what bugs me? They never talk about the Browns. Nobody ever talks about the Browns unless they're talking bad about them. And you don't ever hear nothing out of their signings. I mean, they restructured Denzel Ward's contract the other day to save some cap space, and they're maybe getting ready to sign Flacco to a deal there for a year, and they're going to restructure Deshaun Watson for some cap space. Nobody talks about any of that stuff, with the Browns, because everybody thinks, well, they're the Browns.
Yeah, right.
They're Rutgers,
Right.
Same thing's going to happen. All right, let's get us a break in here. Okay.
I got what? Okay, you want me?
Heck yeah.
I'll say something about Cleveland sports here.
Right.
Here's my hell yeah. Coach, I know who you like in NBA.
Oh, you're going to talk about this 22-point meltdown.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Bulls guy, but I do watch Cavs basketball. I pay attention to Cavs basketball for a reason. Man, that fourth quarter was good to watch.
Gee whiz.
Dean Wade.
I don't know what happened.
He got his inner D Wade.
Yeah.
Hit him is what it was.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. And it was funny. Again, listen to these sports shows all the time. That's all I listen to. They were all talking last week about the Celtics. There was nobody in the league close to the Celtics. They're gonna walk through and win it all. Blah 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 blah. They're the best team, et cetera, et cetera. Then after this meltdown they had against Cleveland, they're like, there's some chinks in that armor.
They're going to be fine. I'll tell you who. Of course, Cleveland's going to be right there too. But the Bucks are starting to. Since Doc's kind of been there a little bit now, they're starting to do a little bit better. Yeah. Which people were talking about their defense got worse, and don't get me wrong, they were one of the top in the league, but you went and got Dame Lillard, which is one of the best offensive point guards. Your defense is going to go down a little bit.
Right. Yeah, you got to give up something to get that. Get one of the better players. Yeah. Better offensive guys. He's not going to be a better defensive guy.
No.
Yeah.
That's why I wasn't figuring out why they was like, I'm like, well, you went and got, and you gave up one of your defensive guys,
Right.
So.
Yeah, and they are playing better. Boston got a big game against Denver
tonight.
Tonight should be interesting. I think Denver come to Boston, beat them at home. I think that's like the only loss they've had at home, beat them by 2.
Yeah.
And so
my Bulls are in 9th place. So.
Well, I'm not. I don't watch a lot of NBA nowadays. I watch some playoffs and of course the finals. I watch, but I don't pay attention to it like I used to. Oh, got a looks like got a guest caller here. I think I mentioned her a little bit ago. Courtside with Coach Crist. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, good evening, Coach. This is Charlene Clark, a 7th year 8th grader from the Smooth Smokies.
Oh, Charlene Clark. Now, Charlene is the third cousin once removed on the grandmother's side of Caitlin Clark.
That school's still open?
The Smoot Smokies. Apparently it is. So, and I think
I gotta go out on that side of the county more often.
You can see on our graphic there that Charlene Clark was the leading scorer in from the Greenbrier County Ruritan Sports Recreational Basketball League for women. So she's the again third cousin, once removed on the grandmother's side of Caitlin Clark. Charlene, what's going on over in Smoot?
Well, I tell you what, Coach, ain't much going on over here. Kind of like every other night, But got a couple people out howling at the moon. Got a couple people over here, running around in their trucks, sporting their flags and all that. And so, Coach, I've been blessed, be here in Greenbrier County and be a Smoky. I mean, with all the COVID years and stuff, like I say, I'm a 7th year 8th grader.
All right.
And, I just thought I'd call in to talk about my recent accomplishments. But you got a question, Coach?
Yeah, I was going to say probably share a classroom with 7 or 8 others that are in the same boat you are, have been 6th, 7th year, 7th graders.
Right. There ain't many boats up in Smoot, though, Coach.
Yeah.
And
right.
The creek's not that deep.
Do y'all drive to school together or what?
Well, yeah. And that's kind of, you're kind of getting into my storyline. So,
Okay,
you just hush up down there.
All right.
Wow.
My fault, Charlene. Relax a little bit there.
Yeah, they put other stuff in the water up here, so I get a little frustrated at times. But,
I got you.
I'm just excitable, Coach. I'm just excitable. And, but anyway, I thought I'd call in, talk about my most recent accomplishments, becoming the all-time leading scorer in the Smoot Smoky history, see?
Right.
And, that feat was only accomplished by none other than my grandmother's grandmother, Geraldine Moody Crotch, back in 1963.
Uh-huh.
And so, and this is the part you ask in an exciting way, but in a nasally kind of voice. Well, how many points have you scored in Smoot Smoky history,
right.
Charlene?
Yeah, how many points have you scored, Charlene?
Oh, yes, sir, Coach. And I'd say at this point, 483. And it's been an amazing run.
And is that over a course of 7 years, 4 years? How many years is that?
I'm a 7th year 8th grader, sir. Yes, sir. But
I think Gorby has a question for you.
Do you hit up Coach Comet's like off-season training camp or anything like that?
I'm sorry, Mr. Gorby. Could you repeat that question?
Coach Comet's off-season training camp. Do you hit that up?
Oh, Coach Comet. Yes. He's a little bit of a hard nose. But anyway, I do tend to run about and do those kind of reindeer games with Coach Comet.
Oh.
And so it has helped me tremendously in my stamina.
Do you have you ever bought a car over there from Dickie Boggs or anybody like that?
No, sir, Coach. Well, actually, I did buy a car over there one time, Coach. It was a 1992. No, I take that back. A 1990 Ford Escort 5-speed. It was white. It had a racing stripe.
Oh, nice.
Sir, because he beat the deal at Anstead Motors. He couldn't compete with brother Bob.
I got you.
Wow.
Okay, so and so anyway, Coach, back to me and my game. I wanted to say, even though it's been a great run there with the Smokies, I am now taking my skills to the next level.
Ooh, where you heading?
Well, not to the WNBA like I thought you might think,
all right.
But I am going to go not under also the watchful eye of Mark Gladwell and that bronze statue of Ed McCall in Better Bridge, but I'm taking my talents to Greenbrier County, and I'm going to be a Spartan.
Oh, going to Greenbrier East, huh?
Shut up, dogs.
How do you take your talents to the county when you're already in the county?
Well, because, that's where I'm taking them. I ain't taking them to the county. I'm taking them down the damn road, Gorby.
Now,
I can either take them down the road or up the road, and I choose to take them down the road.
If you go to Greenbrier East now, who your coach is going to be, right?
Yes, sir, Coach. I will be under the watchful, saggy eye of Baby Dog.
And big old dadgum Jim.
Yes, sir, Coach. And that's right. And if the Spartans are ever going to beat them Morgantown Mohegans for a state championship, they're going to need my talent. Yeah. And I'm the only one old enough to drive the private team coach as well.
That's right. Yeah, you could drive the bus if you needed to.
That's right. I can ride the bus. I can ride in the short bus and drive the long bus. Anyway, I'm just sad we're not going to get to take old Coach JJ's helicopter, though. I was looking forward to that. Somebody else has already taken it.
Yeah, somebody else got control of that one already.
Yes, sir. So I did want to tell you, though, Coach, one last story. I met this lady named Eileen. Oh, no, that's a different story. Anyway, I did want to tell you that in my last game as a Smoot Smoky in the other league we play in, the Scenic 60 Appalachian Sewell Mountain Athletic Conference, or as some call it, the Sassy Mac, I single-handedly carried our team on my back to victory. My 6 points were the vital ones in our close 6-5 win over the Rupert Rangers.
Rupert Rangers. I have a feeling, Charlene, you're going to be making a lot of money on your back.
Oh, yes, sir, Coach.
Oh, man.
I do have an NIL agreement with a mattress shop.
There you go.
So they're going to strap one on my back and let me parade around with it and advertise for them all the time.
I can't believe the Dawson Inn wouldn't give you a deal.
Yeah, you'd think the Dawson Inn would hook you up.
Oh, the Dawson Inn, yes. Well, I do have a side entrance to key to the side door.
Right.
Anyway, but they don't let me stay there by the hour. But
how about
anyway.
Possum Hollow Pizza ought to give you a little deal too, you think?
Coach,
yeah,
you seem like you wrote my call here.
Then he better be going to Greenbrier West if he's ever Possum Holler.
Well, okay. I think I'll just hang up then. Since, you all kind of got ahead of me a little bit there. You got one of them drones flying over down here in Smoot looking at my papers?
Sorry, Charlotte.
Anyway.
We didn't mean to
whoops.
one up you.
Okay. Oh, well, whatever. All right. So, anyway.
Charlene's voice has changed since she got on the phone.
Victory.
Tell you.
Went from a country girl to like an angry man. Go ahead, Charlene.
I have that tendency. And, that whole, well, never mind. We won't get into that. The censor may censor us. Anyway.
He has his finger on the button.
On the button. Because there has been rumors, Anyway,
yeah.
But back to my Rupert Rangers win. It was exciting, but when the fans rushed on the floor, I accidentally tried to hit this lady, and I whiffed, and she was this big fat lady. And so I fell down, and I was kind of embarrassed. So I rolled around on the floor, and, I acted like I was injured. But then that fat lady said, "Charlene, get your ass up!" And I said, "Mama?" Right. On to the bigger, better things. Coach JJ did offer me an NIL deal that I couldn't beat. Kind of like him in Morgantown. But anyway, Mama gets a free 4X Martin sweatshirt, and I get, you guessed it, free pizza from Possum Holler Pizza before every home game. Can't wait to beat that possum with a stick. Oh, no, wait a minute. You can't beat that possum with a stick, but I guess you can.
Yeah. All right.
All right, Coach, I'm tired of you two picking on me. I got to go.
All right, Charlene, you're starting to ramble there just a little bit. You need to have you a little shot of shine and calm down.
Yeah, well, I'll get a little shot of something. I don't know if it'll be shiny or not.
We'll look forward
Okay, Coach, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you play next year over in Greenbrier East.
Yes, sir, Coach. I'm looking forward to it, too.
All right, Charlene, you have a good evening.
Bye, Gorby.
Bye-bye, Charlene. Charlene Clark, man, she was, that girl's fired up, wasn't she? These NIL,
I know that.
These NIL deals making people crazy.
Right.
All right, we're going to do something new, Gorby, we haven't done since we started the show. Let's take a break. Been at it 45 minutes here. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll have our special guest for the evening, Mr. Eli Campbell from the Midland Trail Patriot basketball squad, going to step in here and join us for a few minutes. We'll talk about their season. some of the things that went on over there this season and get his side of it and hear some good news, good stories from Eli. I know he's got some good stuff to talk about, so we look forward. He's already snuck in the back door here while we was yapping, and we got to get him out here and get him set up. So we'll take us a break. We'll get him in, get him set up, and we'll return here on the New River Network. You're watching the Courtside with Coach Crist show with me and Dave Gorby. We appreciate you tuning in, appreciate you watching, putting up with our foolishness. We'll return after these messages. Stay with us.
Retro Reset Wrestling is coming to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the New River Network. See hard-hitting wrestling action from today's rising stars in independent wrestling. If you are a wrestling fan of any generation, let us introduce you to the hottest wrestling promotion in West Virginia. You can also join a live show at the Crossroads Mall. Retro Reset Wrestling is coming to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the New River Network.
Welcome back to the Courtside with Coach Crist show. I'm Greg Crist. That's not Dave Gorby. Dave's taking a seat in the back, and we've brought on our special guest for the show tonight, Mr. Eli Campbell. Eli played basketball for the Midland Trail Patriots. Eli, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming over tonight. I know it's a little bit of a drive for you to come over here, and it's probably kind of hard to find. I don't know, but I tried to give the best description I could of how to get down here. But you did make it, and we're tickled for that. You guys just wrapped up your season over at Trail, had a good year. First thing I would like for you to do is, now you're a senior, right?
I am.
You are a senior. And so we'll talk about your future plans here in just a minute. But first thing I'd like for you to do is describe the season you guys had. It's been a long dry spell over there, and you finally got things turned around, got it going in the right direction. Describe this past season that you guys had.
I mean, it was just a blessing to be able to play like that in front of, the community that I've grown up around. It's always been a goal of mine to give Trail that opportunity to have that type of season again, and it was just an honor to be able to play with the teammates that I did and play around the community that we had. We had a great season.
Awesome. Yes, you did have a good season, and of course we're fans, and we actually got to call one of your games down at where did we go? Down to Herbert Hoover, I believe. And last time we had that much excitement, I was over coaching, so it was good to see that again, man. We was excited. You guys, I don't remember exactly what your record was, but I know you had a winning season. You won a lot of games, and it ended suddenly, and it ended in a disappointing fashion. Describe that disappointment that night. And I know, the goal was to win your last game, and when it happens like it happened to you guys, the team you'd beaten, probably felt like you were going to beat again, and then it didn't work out that way in the sectionals. Describe what that disappointment was like.
It was just heartbreaking. You work all season working towards that one goal. The season didn't really matter up to that point. We could have had the worst season ever, but that game was the one that we wanted to win.
Right.
We just couldn't pull through it.
I know. That happens. I mean, the goal is to win that section, win the region, get to the state tournament, and win down there. And it doesn't always work out that way. And sometimes it happens when you lose to teams that you feel like you should beat. And I was telling, I forget who I was watching the game with, but I said, my last year coaching, we beat Buffalo Putnam in the Cole Classic over at Beckley in the championship game on a Wednesday night. We beat them by 32 points. We played them on Friday night in a regular season game at Trail, and they beat us by 2. So it was a 34-point swing. Wow. So sometimes that happens. You never know. You never know when that's going to happen. You had the fortune of setting a little record over there at Trail this year. Talk about that for a minute.
I didn't really even know I was on pace to set it until those last few games. It was then I didn't think it was a record that I even had a chance of reaching. We've had some great shooters at Trail in the past.
Yeah.
But it's just an honor to hold that record now.
So tell people what the record is. They may not know.
Most 3-point field goals in a season. I set the record this year with 71.
71 in a season. Pretty good, huh, Gorb? Yep, pretty good. 71 threes in a season does set a record. And like you said, when you talk about the shooters that Midland Trail has had over the years, that's pretty, pretty impressive record to get, because there's been some great shooters over through the years. Probably for the last 25 years, there's been some tremendous shooters over there, and to be able to get that record, that is pretty awesome. Now, and I watched you guys, like you said, you had some other people that could shoot the basketball, so it wasn't like you were out there jacking threes nonstop. You had other people that could shoot. Talk about your team and your teammates and what they meant to you to help get you that record.
Oh man, I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better team to play around this season. Obviously we had a couple of transfers come over, and that helped out the team big time. But I've been playing with all of them for as long as I can remember. I've been playing basketball for, and it's not really that we tried to set the record or anything.
Right.
It's just how we play with each other. We know how to play.
Yeah, things like that happen. They don't. I mean, if you're trying to do that, it's probably not going to happen, But things like that just do kind of sneak up when it happen. Had you known you were close to setting a record, you might have tightened up and never got that record. But who knows? But anyway, you had some good guys around you, and like I said, I enjoyed y'all. Didn't play real well the game I called for you down at Hoover, but you could see that you had some talent, and it just wasn't your all's night down there. But it always helps to have good people around you. I got to ask you this question. Who taught you to shoot that way? Because I know, I coached your dad in some football, and I don't ever remember him being much of a basketball player. He may have been. I don't remember it, but maybe he was. Who taught you to shoot like that?
It was my dad.
Okay.
He wasn't,
That's
known
off to
as,
Pete.
He wasn't known much of a shooter back in high school. I think he only played on his freshman basketball team.
Yeah, I don't remember him playing, to be honest with you.
I don't know. There's been a lot of coaches that I've had over the years that have, helped me, train through that jump shot.
I thought for sure you were going to say your grandpa, who's your pawpaw, as you call him, a dear friend of mine, sweet man, and a heck of a basketball player back in his day. I don't know if he's ever told you or not, but I think they won a state championship back when he played a Class B state championship. And of course, everybody that knows me knows that's probably Roger Reed, who I'm talking about, who not only was a heck of a basketball player, but a good football player and a great football coach, who won 2 state championships, and then helped me coach when I was coaching the middle school team over there. And I guess, I don't know if he was there when your dad played or not. I can't remember back that far. It's been a while back. But, great sports mind, and a fantastic person, wonderful person, in fact. And I've been angling trying to get him on the show, so I'm going to count on you. Talk him into coming over here, tell him how much fun it is and how well we paid you, and you'll come and help him down the hill out here and get him in the studio, and we'll get him on the show. We'll talk a little bit of Ansted Highlander football. That'd be a blast for me. I'd love doing that. But I thought for sure you might say that he's going to taught you how to shoot. I'm impressed that Pete did that, because like I said, I don't remember Pete being much of a basketball player. He's a good football player, but I don't remember much about his basketball prowess. But may have to get Curtis to hire him up there. Maybe he's a shooting coach or something.
Might have to.
I mean, daggone. Set the record for threes. Why not? Doing something right. What's your plans coming up? What's your future plans?
So I'm currently planning on going up to WVU Tech up in Beckley, and I'm going to study business management
All right.
up there, try to get my 4-year degree in that.
Awesome. You play any other sports?
I played soccer.
Did you?
Yeah. Soccer was really just to stay in shape for basketball, though, really.
Right.
But yeah, if I do get the opportunity to, I'd love to play basketball at the next level as well.
Awesome. Have you had any talks with the tech coaches or anybody?
I've communicated with them over the years. I'm always sending them emails, sending them highlight film, stuff like that.
Good deal. George does a good job over there. I know him pretty well, and he's got a pretty nice program over there. So that'd be a good place to go. Talk about again one last time here your fondest memories of this season and playing at Trail and playing for Coach Miller and Coach Sparks. Just talk about what this experience has meant to you and how you think it's going to help you the rest of your life.
Oh, it'll definitely stick with me for as long as I can remember. Just the community and the support that we've gotten through the fans and players and students. But my favorite, or my most known memory from this season was probably the Herbert Hoover game at home.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We won that one late down the stretch. But just the environment there and the stands were packed. It was just an amazing game to be at. It'll definitely be something that sticks with me for a long time.
The fan support over there is incredible. Yep, I know the whole time I coached over there, we always had nice crowds. Other coaches commented on our crowds and how supportive people were. So yeah, they definitely support it. Do you want to coach in the future, or is that not in the question?
If the opportunity comes up, I don't think I would turn it down.
Yeah. So you think you'd like doing that? Well, maybe Midland Trail can get you back over there. You can talk to Gorby. Gorby coaches a little bit of everything. He's been coaching he's got more coaching experience than I had, and I'm 30 years older than him. And Gorby played for me.
I done my 17th basketball year.
Was that 17 years you've been coaching basketball? My goodness. Wow. Yep, that's amazing. And it's not an easy job. I'll just tell you that if you ever do decide to get in. It's not don't do it to get rich, that's for sure. And, you're not going to get rich, and you're not going to have not everybody's going to like you, as we found out, don't we, Gorb? A lot of people, for some other reason, don't like us very well. But anyway, you guys had a fantastic year. Congratulations on that. So happy to see it. We were all pulling for you guys, and I know I was so disappointed. I had caught a little bit of the game, the Pikeview game. My son coaches at Pikeview game, and I texted another friend and I said, "Tell me that was not the first game of the sectionals." He said, "Yes, it was." I was like, "Oh my gosh, we got beat the first game of the sectionals. What a bummer!" And you guys have beaten Pikeview.
Yeah.
I gotta get that right. Pikeview. You'd beaten them twice, right?
Yep, we had beaten them twice already this season.
Wow. Sometimes hard to beat somebody 3 times. That's a bummer. Yep. But it doesn't take away from what you guys accomplished this year and the great season that you had. You can be proud of that, and I know we was all proud of you guys and happy for you, and was rooting you as hard as we could. Now, one last thing before we sign off, and we do this with every guest we have. It doesn't matter how old or how young. We have a segment that comes from my basketball coaching background called Shoot to 3. And what we do on the Shoot to 3 is we ask you 3 rapid-fire questions that have nothing to do with anything we've ever talked about or you probably ever even thought about. And if you don't answer those questions within 30 seconds, Gorby, as you can see, pretty big guy, he comes over and he'll bust your kneecaps.
Oh, gosh.
But we really don't have any rules, and we really don't bust anybody's kneecaps. We just say that just to put a little fear into you. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions.
Okay.
Answer them as quick as you can. If you were being put in handcuffs and placed in a police car and your friends were watching and didn't know what was going on, and I went up to them and I said, "What's Eli being arrested for?" what would they say?
Oh, shoot.
I always like asking good kids that question because they don't have an answer. A bad kid would be like, "I was probably drunk," or yeah.
Oh, shoot. I don't know. Breaking and entering. I don't know.
Good answer.
Vandalism.
There you go. Vandalism. Yeah, all young people do vandalism. Yeah, heck yeah. All right. Question number 2.
Okay.
What song would you say describes your personality? And you sure do look like your dad, by the way.
I get that a lot. Southern Nights by Glenn Campbell.
Southern Nights by Glenn Campbell. Gorb, you don't even remember that one, do you? That's an oldie there. All right. Now, the only requirement is you got to sing a little bit of it. So
Oh, gosh. I don't think I could sing it off the top of my head.
Southern Nights. La, 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 la. I don't know the words to it. All right. last question. You're doing good so far. Southern Nights by Glenn Campbell. It blows my mind you even know that song. If you had to lose a body part,
Oh gosh.
what part would you give up?
My left knee.
Your left knee. Oh, that's pretty serious there, Eli. I was kind of thinking maybe a finger or an ear, maybe.
I don't know. It's been killing me all basketball season.
Oh, his knees hurting. Okay, you want to get rid of the pain. All right, I got you. Well, when you get my age, you'll be able to get you a new one. So just hang in there until then. So listen, we appreciate you taking the time to drive over here. Anything else you want to say before you go? You gonna shout out to anybody or? You know, millions of people are watching right now. I mean, you don't know that.
I don't know. Just thank you to all the people who supported the team and myself this season.
Good job.
Means more than you know.
Absolutely awesome. Eli, we appreciate you driving over here for this little bit of time. I know it's an awful long trip for a little bit of time on the air, but you're welcome back anytime. Just give us a shout and come on over and join us anytime you want.
Thank you.
And maybe you find you a career in this.
Yeah.
This don't pay. This don't pay very well either. I'm going to tell you that. So, but you could probably get into it and make a little bit of money. So you come back anytime you want. Sure. We really do appreciate you coming over. And again, congratulations on a great season.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that record. Now, you know, records are made to be broken. So you have to keep track. And when somebody gets ready to break it, you need to show up over there and root against them, I guess. I don't know. No, just kidding. But that's an awesome accomplishment. And we're proud of you. Proud of you guys this year. We enjoyed watching you all play. And you had a fantastic season. So congratulations again. And thank you again for coming over. Appreciate you so much. All right, that's going to do it for another night here on the Courtside with Coach Crist show. We appreciate everybody joining us. And Dave Gorby, appreciate you as always getting here and being here with me. And again, we're going to get this thing consistent and be here every week. And Darren behind the scenes doing all the work back there. Thanks to Eli Campbell for making the trip over and joining us for the last 15, 20 minutes of the show. We appreciate him. We appreciate all you all for tuning in, and we look forward to coming to you again next Thursday night here on the New River Network, Courtside with Coach Crist show. Good night, everybody.